I'm a professor of Asian civilizations, and I also teach Asian American Studies here at MIT. We used a wide variety of digital tools in this class. In fact, the class from the get-go was born as kind of a response to the pandemic. It was a special subject that I taught, so it was experimental. And what I wanted to do with this class was to avoid trying to transform one of my in-person classes that's very discussion-based onto the online format, but to try to make something that would be born digital and therefore really sort of suitable for us to use in remote teaching. So we did use a large range of digital tools. I think the most basic one we used was Perusal. Perusal is a social annotation platform, and it allows for really easy annotation of text, image, and video, which was very important for our class because the point of the class was to compare how this epic Chinese narrative of a war that lasted for hundreds of years was told in fiction, told in comic book, told in film, told in video game, across various different genres. And I think the students really enjoyed using Perusal because it is a social annotation platform. That meant that they could do their annotations as they were reading the novel, share their responses with their classmates, ask questions of the classmates, ask questions of the instructor. And so it did help to transform this reading experience that could be very isolated, especially during a pandemic, into a community kind of work together. Then the third project that we did was to take those very same events and to map them on a digital map. And for that project, students were allowed to use two different kinds of platforms. One was StoryMap.js, and the other is ArcGIS StoryMap. So the idea behind that was to take the events that we knew had happened over a course of time, map them geographically so that students could really begin to gain a better understanding of the vast geographic scope that the events of this novel unfolded over. None of us have gone back to normal in teaching, right? Even though we're teaching in person now, we're all in the new normal. And I believe that I can speak for all of my colleagues that all of us have had our teaching radically transformed by the pandemic. And I think one type of change, of course, is that I'm continuing to use these same digital tools in my class now, even though we're meeting in person. But the other change I think that many of us feel is we do feel that those in-person interactions now are all that we took for granted in the past, perhaps, are all the more precious, and we want to maximize those. And so in that way, I think it's the silver lining of the pandemic that we have had this immense transformation in the way that we teach.